Sam, you talked yesterday about how everybody here had to be beyond their years this weekend.
Yeah.
For Kai to deliver the way she does, for Stevie to come back in and virtually close it out there at the end. I mean, just what you saw from not the whole team, but especially the freshmen, where Allison and the legging out a double, there to get a rally. I'm sure that was a little stressful. But to see these kind of resilient moments from a lot of really young players here.
Yeah, I mean, just so proud of our group. It's tough to play a game like we did game one, and then to come back and take a series in the pack. I'm so proud of how they continue to fight, and how they weren't afraid to look at our mistakes and to look at where we're going to make adjustments and get better at it. I mean, like we talked about with Stevie, I mean, she's just beyond her years. And I think that what you saw in both of our wins were our pitchers just having each other's backs. Like McKenna coming in and then working through, working past the first inning and giving us some really solid innings in there, giving us four solid innings. 3 shutout innings after the first. And then having Stevie come in and carrying us in that way, for 2.2. And then Jordan, to come in with the bases loaded, right? You haven't seen the mound all day. To come in with the game on the line as a senior, right? And then to have enough confidence to throw your pitch, and throw your pitches. I was just so proud, and so proud of, Tara, and so proud of Coach Reagan and how they continued to call their games. That was tough. And you got so many young people. I mean, Allison, that's a kid who, continues to work and to wait for her moment and to come in and do what she does. I mean, we're a team that likes to rely a lot on our speed, and Allison wants to get up there. So I was proud of her. We talked a lot about us being hesitant on the bases earlier in the series, and even in the game, we thought we were being too hesitant. Part of how we win is pushing the envelope. So I was proud of that a lot in her. And if you know anything about Kai, that kid never stops working. Never stops working. She's always in here. She's always working on her own. And it's really special when you have somebody who isn't going to change her routine no matter how much playing time she has. She's just ready for her moments. And to put her in the leadoff and to see how well she's done, it's just really impressive.
When Rach has been struggling as she has, and it even goes back into last season, to have the day that after Friday, to have the day that she has, to have the home run finally,
yeah,
and then to get the rally started in the 6th, when you're working with her as much offensively, just what does that mean to you that she was a part of this in that way?
Well, Rachel's been doing well all pack. She's someone who's in the top of our categories right now there, and that's why we want to move her up in the lineup. She's first and foremost, she's a veteran, right? And whenever you have experience, there's nothing that really can replace that. And we needed it. We relied a lot on our leadership this weekend. We needed it. We needed them to lead with within in a lot of ways. And so, Rachel's someone even during batting practice was tinking with some things and toying with some things and working through some things. And she's just someone who, what I love about her as a hitter is she never is afraid of the moment. She always wants to be in the box. Someone who wants the game on her shoulders, and it was awesome. It's great to see her continuing to work through, and she's had some big hits. She had a huge hit for us at Utah, a double to lead off that inning. A huge series this weekend, and it's awesome. All their success though is on them. Them working, them continuing to grind through, and that's why I'm just so proud of they have a lot of ownership on it.
In managing Kai's at bat there in the 6th, what is the strategy? What's the thought process from you in terms of, because that's the biggest at bat she's played in her career,
right?
In that moment. So just what is your approach when, I know it's not necessarily pitch to pitch too loud, she's got the green light, but what are you trying to get across to her?
I think for her, it's in those moments you just want them to trust themselves. It's getting into they've had multiple at bats off that pitcher. It's the second time she's seen her, and so I think that for Kai, she's someone who just creates so much havoc because she can bunt, she can soft slap, and she can power slap. And so for us, some people might think, okay, do you want to bring in a pinch hitter in that moment? You have second and third, you need a sac fly, and I think we just had a lot of confidence in her ability to power slap too in that situation. So for her, for Kai, she's done a lot on her routine, on her going from at bat to at bat and getting reset. And for her, it's just going through her routine, having a lot of trust in herself and knowing that she can get it done. How
Stressful is it for you at the end of the dugout on 2-2 when Haljan steps back in after taking it to the grill? And that's a monumental pitch for Stevie.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, I hope that she's okay. I mean, to be able to come back in, that's incredibly gutsy. To even want to come back in the box after that. So that's my hat's off to her. That's a really, really tough kid right there. And I hope that she's okay. But I think that we talk about this all the time as a team. Like, in those situations, you gotta believe on us, right? You gotta bet on yourself. And of course, like, the game it presents so many stressful moments, right? It's just up and down, up and down, up and down. You just have a choice on if you're gonna feed like the fear of it, the stress of it, or you're just gonna bet on yourself and feed into that. And so for me as a coach, of course, like, I want her to do, and really it's for the kid. Like, I want her to go in there and do what she's gonna have so many big moments, Stevie. She's gonna face some really elite hitters in the pack, and she's already has. But for her, I just think it's a really cool moment for her to be able to get in there. Sunday she's pitched, I think, more pitches than anybody, at this point, and she's, I'm sure, gassed, and she continues to want the ball. So as a coach, you're just really excited to have Stevie on the mound in that situation.
Externally, the body language today, when you guys had given up the lead, it didn't seem like there was any slouched shoulders. There was a lot more confidence today. Was that something you guys talked about, making sure? Because you guys
sure
displayed the different
yeah. I think that from our perspective, watching back, to our players' credit, like, we didn't shy away from re-looking at that game. And I think that if you were to ask any one of our players, they wished that we would have pressed a little bit of a reset button. They wish that our body language would have been better. They wish that we stayed in it. If you know anything about this team, like, this team cannot be counted out. I think that they felt that in Greensboro, right? And they felt that a lot of the season. Like, this team continues to learn from what they've done, continue to fight. And we talked about it today as an offense, right? Like, we got to have our staffs back. I think that, like, they have had our back so much of the year. Right, like, it took a minute to get all of us flowing offensively the way we wanted to, and we had to have their back. We had to have Coach Lombardi's back, right? And as like the head coach too of the pitchers. And so for them, I think that's just, you can't fake like having belief that you can come back. And so for them, I was just really proud that they felt in it the entire time, and even like the pitchers keeping us in it, right? Keeping us in it, keeping that score at 3 so we could battle back. And I loved how we just were able to kind of chip away too at it. We didn't come all in one inning. So I'm happy that it looked like their body language was good because we talked about that.
Was there any external, you talked about the game plan had been to be aggressive, but it looked like today there was a lot more aggressiveness on the base paths. Not that you guys hadn't been stealing, but it just looked like there was a definite push on that. Is that?
Yeah, we again, like, I think that one of the strengths of our team is our speed, and maybe sometimes we'll be a little bit too aggressive, but we would rather kind of push it in that kind of a way. We like to generate runs that way, and so I think for them it was just having no fear, like, in their decision making. I mean, even Gabby had like a monstrous run, like, not hesitating, going, sliding in, running hard. A lot of people talk about too, like, our strength coach is unbelievable. KJ, like, this team is as strong, as fast as I've seen them. And we credit a lot to what KJ does with us. We credit a lot to what Justin does to getting them recovered. I mean, Sunday, right? Like, you've got bodies that are hurting today, and getting them recovered in that way. So I was proud that they didn't have a lot of hesitancy with it.
With as intense the last 2 days were, I can certainly appreciate it, but I didn't see that very much from an assistant coach, Sam. It was like your playing days.
Oh, what was that?
The post-game, as jacked up as you were, and motioning to the crowd, just, well, at the end. All right, now that you're through the weekend, that was rather unexpected. What was that like? Because, like I say, you probably haven't showed that since your Ohio State days.
Right. Well, I think that we challenged our players, like, to raise their intensity, right? We challenged them just to raise their bar, and I think that starts with us as coaches, right? Like, I think it's okay to show that. I was really proud of them to come back from what we came back from day one. I want them to feel me. Like, I want them to feel how in it we are with them and how awesome that was. And also, like, I think our fans deserve it. You know, our fans that's something I want to make sure I said. Our fans were unbelievable this weekend. Like, they were another player for us. And I think that as a fan, sometimes, like, we get them at the end, right? But I wanted them to know, like, I felt them and I appreciated them being in it. It was very easy for our fans to kind of give up a little bit. They had every right to after day one. You know, we talked about that. Like, we felt like we let our fans down after day one. And to come back and to be so loud and in it on Saturday, to come be even more in it on Sunday, like, I just really want to thank them. And I wanted them to know that, like, we felt them and we appreciate them.
Did you guys forget to spot that second out in the 6th inning rally? Because you guys usually have a 2-out rallies instead of.
Yeah, we wanted to make it a little different. I just really wanted to thank you guys too. You know, I know this is my first time, and you guys are really, really kind in all of your questions, and it's made this really easy for me. So I just appreciate. I mean, I know it's even after day one. I mean, I kept you guys here waiting a long time in our meeting, and it was late. And I just want to say how much I appreciate it. I think that it's really special at Oregon how professional it feels all the time, and for our athletes, them to feel like it's a professional environment, and you guys are incredibly professional. So just want to thank you guys.
Can I ask one last question?
Sure.
Jordan, stepping in, I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit. She'd had a couple of opportunities that had been not what she would have wanted, let's say that. To come back in, how big of a moment is this for her psyche? Because she's always there. She's always going to give her 110%. But this was next level.
It's huge. Again, we talked to our team about this. Like, we always want to have big time moments, because that means that we're in big games, right? Like, there didn't feel like a lot of big moments on day one because we weren't privileged to have them, right? And so for Jordan, that's a kid who has she will be celebrated on her senior day, like, for what she has, and all of them will, right? But like, Jordan deserves to have a big moment for herself, to come in and what she did her first year, and then to continue to work on this staff and to have different roles. And then every year it's like she's had a different role, and now to come in and just for her mental psyche, it's huge, right? To know that she can come in and close a game like that. I just am really proud of her. I thought that she had one of her best weekends I've seen all around. So it's huge for Jordan. I'm so proud of her. I'm just super happy for her that she gets to have that.